And so they kept getting his vitals, and it was really high, you know, the usual accompanying with pain, severe pain. And so I went in there, and I used his appendix point, and it was ratified, my diagnosis, with the doctor that was there. Yeah, we think it's appendicitis, acute appendicitis. And apparently he had mentioned that he had some pain before. So there I was, appendix point, and my hand on this man's belly, like Greg's chest, you know? And breathe, send chi, breathe, send chi. And immediately it subsided. But they said, well, I don't know. They always say they'd feel better. And I said, look, he's smiling. You don't feel better if you're not suffering if you're smiling, you know. And so I kept my hands on his belly for an hour and a half. And my hand on his appendix point. Because when I took it away, then it started to come back. I tried it, and then held it again, and it subsided. So we avoided an emergency landing. How many has been in an emergency on a plane? A few of you. Okay. And so we avoided an emergency landing. Do you know how much an emergency landing costs? This was the last flight for connections where we were going. I was going to Denver and then heading to Ottawa. And there were connections to be made, you know, all the chaos and everything that would happen. Well, so we got the medics meeting the plane, etc. And then, so that was going to Ottawa. Wow, exciting. Well, coming back from Ottawa, I was on Delta, 5C, got the same seat. The last one was halfway. Halfway, we got this PA system. Is there somebody come back to the galley? I'm both coming and going. So I waited, and so they did the second announcement. So, okay, all right, I go. And I had my cane, and I was going back, you know, like this. And they're going, what the heck is she coming for? I told you God gave me something when he took away something from me. So I went back there, and they were taking his pulse. His pulse was real low. His blood pressure was like high, and he was pale, and he was conked out on the floor, and cold and clammy and sweating and etc. You know, cold sweating. And so they were just like, oh, can't find his temperature, can't find his pulse, can't find it. I said, that's not going to do anything. Taking the vital signs, right? So I said, you can laugh. Don't cover your laugh. Yeah. Come on. And so I went down there. I bent down. I said, let's see what's happening. So again, I had my hand on the man's belly and got him breathing and sending chi and etc. And he came around almost immediately. Well, yes, immediately. And they said, shall we land? The pilot was calling back and forth. And is there a medical doctor there? Yes, there was. And what could she say? That we can't find the vitals, and the vitals are all up and everything. So they put me on, and the pilot said, are you a medical nurse? Boy, we really emphasize that medical thing, don't we? I said, I'm a nurse, and I think, you know, that refers to medicine, refer to medical. Well, let me talk to the doctor. Anyway, so I found out he was traveling to Europe. They don't ask questions like this. And similar with a fellow, in the going thing. I said, what have you eaten? When did you eat? Are you on medication? And what have you had? So apparently he didn't eat since yesterday. It was 6 o'clock today. He didn't eat since 6 o'clock yesterday. And he's been on a tour of Europe, and he was a model. and he did some shooting. It was a pleasure tour, but he did some shooting and all that. And he hadn't eaten for a whole 24 hours. And what did he have? He had a sugar cookie, and he had a cup of black coffee, and he had a glass of wine. I think that would shoot all of you down into the, falling flat on the galley. And so, okay, open up your thing. They only sell food, right? So I said, open up, don't charge you. A package of food and feed him. And so the stewardess was feeding him. And so again, I had my hand on this man's belly for an hour and a half. So going and coming, I had my hand on a strange man's belly for an hour and a half. Avoided a landing, emergency landing. They were really serious about wanting to land. So that's another $10,000 just for the landing. Just think of the hotel they have to put up and the different things and everything. And so, well, they gave me 500 miles. I'm grateful, but I sure would have loved to have that 20,000 for Qigong research. Wouldn't you? Yes? Mm-hmm. So there's a lot to be done. The stewardess need to be trained to do this. It's so simple. Yes? So anyway, I get called in to hospitals when it's really critical, when a person is dying. And one particular person at a university medical center in Indianapolis, he had 3 strokes and 1 seizure, all in one day. So he was unconscious for 10 days, and they were feeding him through a tube, and he was incontinent and everything, and they said he'll never gain consciousness again, and will never walk, definitely. If he doesn't gain consciousness, of course he's not going to walk, right? And anyway, so I went there. This was referred by Deepak Chopra, told the family to get in touch with me. And so I did. And we went in, and right away, he became conscious. Just your presence to help person become conscious, that's where you want to be. And I thank God for that. Because not only this one, but I just had another case in New York University. A young lady, 22 years old, she was unconscious for about 9 days. And fever of 107. And we walked in, and the nurse